Okay, to me, cultivating discipline is something that is built upon knowledge of understanding what life looks like when you don't implement that discipline, when you don't do that thing. Understanding that you're essentially compounding problems when you ignore your health, ignore your finances, and ignore things that are essential for you to build a sustainable and comfortable life. It doesn't feel fun to save. It doesn't feel fun to work out. It doesn't feel fun to eat healthy. None of those things feel good, but in the long run, they feel good when you have a savings. It feels good when your body is healthy and energized and ready to go. And so for me, cultivating discipline is about understanding what life looks like when you don't. And both things are hard, right? It's hard to just go through your life enjoying pleasures, but not necessarily feeling good, eating whatever you want, but feeling sluggish, waking up whatever you want, but not having enough time, constantly in this routine of trying to keep up with work and working hard for a company and not elevating yourself, not moving to different positions, or not saving any of that money, right? It feels good to just spend for the moment, but it doesn't necessarily feel good when your bank account is empty. So I think that it's an option between delayed gratification of saving and not spending and eating healthy and not binging bad foods, or immediate pleasure and delayed suffering, right? Like I said, compounding your suffering by not choosing the discipline in that moment. So somebody asked me under my video, like, how do you cultivate discipline? Like, how do you start disciplining yourself? And I know the most horrible and straight to the point answer, but the most truthful answer is you just do it. And I think what helps me just do it is, again, understanding what happens when I don't. Like, I don't want a rainy day to come and to not be prepared. I don't want, even on simpler things, like I don't like, and this is a personal preference, for my house to be messy and for somebody to come over. I don't like that stress. I don't like having to constantly prepare quickly and then have all of that anxiety for things that randomly come up. I like to be ready, and it makes life easier. It makes life better. So if, God forbid, I do get sick, at least I've developed healthy eating habits and healthy workout habits so that I can get myself back into shape quicker. If I do have an emergency, I have the funds to be able to fix that thing. I like being prepared, and I think that's what discipline is about, is wanting to compound those micro habits and understanding that that will give you comfortability and a lot more pleasurable things than just immediate gratification. So it's like you have to choose immediate gratification and delayed suffering, or immediate suffering and delayed gratification, right? Because suffering is not spending that money and going to the gym and eating healthy and going to sleep on time, putting your phone down, having a routine, that can be categorized as suffering, but it's that delayed success, that delayed, those delayed satisfactions that come from that discipline. So that's what it takes, is just doing it and developing the knowledge of, I'm going to choose my hard. It's either going to be hard now and easy later, or easy now and hard later. So choosing your hard and developing an understanding of what that delayed gratification looks like. So that's what kind of gets me up in the gym for the morning, is like, I don't really want to go. The bed is always going to feel better, but I do love being energized. I do love feeling like I did something in my day. I do love organization, and that 10 minutes, 20 minutes, hour extra of sleep, it feels good in that moment, but it never makes me feel that great in the long run. I can't really tell the difference. If I'm going to bed at 1 a.m. and waking up 20 minutes later or an hour later, it's not really beneficial. Like, let's get a good bedtime. Let's wake up when we need to. Let's eat the right things. Let's drink water. Let's do the things that we need to, because in the end, it's going to feel a lot better and our body is going to thank us more. So yes, developing that understanding, developing that wisdom, which is that application of doing it, because you can understand, but will you do? And that's where that wisdom comes in. Like, it's wise for me to limit myself. It's wise for me to store up my treasures. It's wise for me to do these things now so that I'm not suffering later, because either way, you're gonna have to suffer, right? But do I want to suffer and something come from it, or suffer for nothing? I hope that makes sense. Have a good day because you can. Make decisions that elevate your life because the bed is always going to feel better. So just do it. And you know, we all have excuses, and I'm aware not everybody lives the same life, but most of us can do it. We just think of a million reasons on why we don't want to or we can't. If you have never read The Courage to Be Disliked, in that book talks about how sometimes we create excuses because it keeps us in this ability to do our habits without feeling guilty. Like, well, I can't do that because XYZ, and that excuse keeps us in that level of comfortability of not doing that thing. So we all have excuses, and your excuses are valid. Now what?